to the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's everybody's favorite sad dads, Jim and Foo.
Like, I follow a lot of like the social media people, as well as content creators.
So like Bungie stuff specifically, and they'll post stuff.
Yeah, like patch notes. And because I follow most of the Destiny content creators who either mainline Destiny as a...
Like Twitch stuff?
Yeah, as their main revenue stream. So as soon as they post something to YouTube, I'll get like oh no, fucking do this exotic quest, or there's something, here's the walkthrough, or news, and like the latest thing is the layoffs and reallocation of games that are not going to the games, and what's the future. What
is the future? Can you tell me?
They haven't posted.
No one knows the future is the answer.
Yes. Certainly not for Destiny. Like there are 3 episodes.
Oh, that's cool. You get me into a game that doesn't have a future.
Right.
Thanks, buddy.
Right. You've got at least 3 episodes worth of content, and then I have no fucking clue what's supposed to happen.
Oh, so they're saying that even though the final shape came, that there's 3 more coming.
There's 3, what used to be, before you joined, seasons. There would be like
I've noticed that.
Like the Vex story thing that you're playing right now?
No. Because I jump around so much.
Right.
Yeah.
The arching story that's happening right now with the Vex, there used to be like 4 of those spread out through the year. And so you'd hit like a thing. It was quarterly.
Okay.
So it's not...
That's their way of keeping it fresh.
Right, right. It's not final shape drop of content. They're like little things just to keep it fresh.
Yeah, quarterly chunks.
When they dropped final shape, they changed to this new type of cadence where it's only 3 spread out over the span of a year.
They have cheapened out.
Yeah, but they're longer in duration, so it's kind of like we turned a whole into thirds as opposed to a whole into quarters.
Yeah.
But
so they're on the thirds system instead
right,
of...
and we're currently on the first story of 3 available, and they have not posted what comes next because the layoffs that happened in June, July, and their ownership by Sony, pretty much it's major game like they jettisoned projects, they jettisoned games that were in incubation, and then they've got Marathon, which is their other thing that's coming next year that's already been delayed.
Mm-hmm.
And you have this problem where the people who mainline Destiny, as far as like a content creator perspective that use it as a form of revenue for doing walkthroughs and how-tos and build crafting things and just general news, are starting to hit this valley where population... I am like perfect example. I'm a guy that has taken in Destiny like straight to my veins for 10 years.
Yeah.
And I did get busy as a dad, sad dad.
That's bullshit.
But
that's an excuse, sir.
Yeah, the final shape story, like Luke killed the Emperor and Vader passed. Luke has achieved, like, the galaxy is safe.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Right. Star Wars is done. And you're like, okay, well, why would I keep following Star Wars? Because Luke won. Like, the thing. So, there's a thing.
There's a new threat.
Right. So, a lot of people are like, sweet, finally, fuck. Okay. And they've walked away.
I have been shooting for 10 years.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm going to take a break. So, they go and find other things, and in that lull, typically, Bungie would then come out with so here's our 3-year plan following X expansion. We're going to do this next year, this 2 years down the road, and this 3 years down the road. And you're like, okay, well, I've got something to look forward to, so I'm going to keep grinding, new weapons, blah, 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 blah. But Final Shape was the Luke...
Final...
Yeah, Luke killed the Emperor as far as Destiny was concerned. Like it's that kind of story beat.
Well,
haven't.
I think what's happening is they realize that it's the only thing making any revenue.
That is the
so they're putting development time behind it to add new shit because it's the only thing making revenue.
Right. Well, that
moment.
was Sony's repurposing in the second layoff. They're like, because Sony bought Bungie for its ability and industry leading business model in having an online service game. What Destiny does as far as player retention, being a live service game and like always having something to nibble on for players is few and far between at the caliber that it is. So Sony went, here's some money.
Yeah.
But really, we want to take what you know about how to make games that do that, and then we're going to cross-leverage your leadership teams to make that business model work for these other games.
But then at the same time, the game community crashed a bit.
Right. And then Bungie took some of that Sony money and went, well, now we're flush with cash. So let's spin up this game. We want to
let's spread out a bit.
Yeah, let's make this game. We'll hire some people. We'll try and make this game, and we'll spin up some people.
Yeah.
And then games crashed.
Yeah.
Mild recession, take your pick. Inflation, take your pick.
Game session.
Yeah. And what you had was Bungie. The Lightfall was a player sentiment flop. So you had player retention leave. And all of a sudden now they had all of these things. They were spread too thin. And Sony, Big Daddy Warbucks, went,
hold on now.
Yeah. We kind of need the cash cow.
What happened to our cash cow?
Right. And what they had done was with the, money from Sony and the kind of like green light from Sony to take their business model and spread it to other games, they took Destiny people that were good at that and they moved them and took them away from Destiny.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now Sony basically said in June, July, the second wave of layoffs.
That's never hurt any projects.
Yeah. They went, stop. That's done. That's done. Those people you have to let go. That project's done. You have two things that we need you to do. Marathon needs to get out the door and you need to put people back on
Retain Destiny.
Yeah, and you need to figure it out.
Yeah.
And in this lull of the last 2 months, people are starting to be like, so what's the plan? Because you have to tell me as players, I need a plan. Otherwise, I'm going to find game. Like, why would I complete the latest quest for the exotic weapon that's dropping from the Vex storyline, which is fucking amazeballs, by the way. But it was like, well, why would I come back to play that? I've killed the big bad. The big bad's dead. So what do I need this gun for? Give me a reason.
Oh, you'll have a reason.
And I'll come back. I did the quest. And I get the thumbnail that you sent now.
Oh, you do?
Because that's the gun that's like the guy with the super on the left-hand side, super and the dragon's breath and all the things. And he's like, exhausted. And then you got the one guy with the cigar and the one gun. That's the gun that's in the Vex quest, and it mops fuckers. Just kills everything.
Now, my issue is I've come in so late to Destiny.
Yeah.
That I'm playing a mix of season stuff, right?
Yeah.
So there's no relativity in my mind about where anything belongs in the series.
Oh, like a sequence of story beats?
Yeah, my storyline's 100% fucked up because I'm like, oh, I got stuck here. I'll just go play something else. I'll find another quest to hop into.
Yeah.
And not really realizing that it's a whole different thing, right? And I'm like, I realize that it's got different bad guys and, different aliens or whatever it is.
Right.
But, that's fine. But I don't have a point of reference for where any of this stuff that I'm hitting.
Sure.
lays into the game's timeline.
Okay.
So it's sort of like hopping into the middle of a Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
And and never having watched anything.
Yeah.
And then getting right into the middle of Star Wars and then sort of jumping around.
Yeah.
You're and just watching here and there.
You should check out Star Wars. Well, what should I watch? Episode 19, Bad Batch, Season 2. And you're like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah, and then go and watch, some new, other
live
new
action
thing.
Ahsoka, Episode 2. And you're like,
yeah, and that's my. So when you and I are playing together.
Yes.
And you're telling me, oh, this is and I'm like, that it doesn't hit with me because I don't have a clear.
Right.
My quest list is like 5 or 6 pages deep, and I'm like, what can I get into quick that I'm not going to die 50 times? You know what I mean? Like, okay, these I know I'm dying a lot. Like, I need to improve before I hop back in there.
Yeah.
So I'm going down the page list and like, okay, this is a Crucible thing. I don't want to do that. Yeah. This is a blah blah or whatever. I don't want to do that. Oh, here's something I can do.
Yeah.
I just got to do some bounties. Fine, I'll do that.
Yeah.
So it's not tied to anything relative wise.
It would be. I could see how the storytelling would be. Venus did. So at some point Sunday. Saturday, we were online doing something on the moon, and I was building the show, and I'm guessing it was Saturday at some point, because Sunday when I logged in, I had a invite from you, but I have no idea when you sent it.
Oh.
We did play Saturday.
Well, sometimes what happens is I see you, like maybe your system is up. Or
that
something,
happens.
And then I see you, and then I send you an invite, and then I go and
it was
look
definitely on Saturday.
Okay.
But while I was building the show, I was just
not watching,
floating.
Oh, I see.
So it would have happened.
No, and that's fine. It doesn't matter if you're busy or not around, or it happened. It's happened a couple times now.
Wow, shit.
Hey,
man. But to your point, though.
Yeah.
Venus. Her hunter was on a moon story component, Shadowkeep expansion, like story stuff. So Saturday, while I was in and out lunch and building the show, we were doing stuff from the moon story beat with Eris. Like, let's just run through it. Like,
I'm hitting every planet.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. Oh yeah, I remember this story. Like, fucking.
Yeah.
It's got the nightmares, and Venus is like creeped out by the nightmare thing. So she's like, why is a guy who's giving me the patrol just like yelling at me? They're all over me.
I know, it's so weird.
She's like, take it easy.
You go by the patrol guy and they're screaming over on the side.
They're
You're
everywhere.
Like, yeah. They yell. Yeah. It's weird.
I can't do that because when I was playing so much, I would do every story thing on every character.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. I've done, minus the final shape, I would play every expansion on my Hunter, on my Titan, on my Warlock.
That's bonkers.
So when you're like, you've probably done this before.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, multiple times.
I have probably done it many times.
What was the thing Venus and I have both been stuck on was like the Saint 14.
Yes.
I passed through that.
Did you?
Yes.
Good for you.
I think I died. Last night I died once.
Yeah.
And got back in there and just kind of got smart about where I put my guy.
Yes.
And was able to get through it.
Good. Good for you.
Yeah, that was very challenging.
Yes.
Because I died in that thing, we're probably talking in the 40s.
Yeah.
I had to have died probably 40 times.
There's a big thing, because I went looking to make sure that because the text for the quest says cooperative matchmaking 1 to 3.
Yeah.
And so I went looking, like, is it us? Is it my guy because I've done it? and I tried bouncing to a different character and then matchmake to her while she was in it, and it wouldn't let me go. And then we would try and she would get back to the helm, and then I would join her, and then we would try and go, and it would punt, and I'm like, okay, so I went looking to
and you
see,
did it with me too,
right? And I did it with you. I'm like, I'm getting the same results with Jim, but we didn't really do the sequencing of like troubleshooting that I did with Venus. So I'm like, I think it's just it's either
mislabeled
it's mislabeled, and so then I went hunting for it, and amongst the similar to the post about you finding like, should I kick this guy because of the shit he was wearing? There's a number of, wasn't that hard for me? It's a skill check. Wasn't that hard? Like, you just need to fucking take the right weapons. I'm like, that's not helping people who just want to know whether or not is there a bug here and we need to reset the quest and start over, or is it actually a single person only and it's meant to be, and you need to prepare.
And that's fine.
And that's fine. Then it's a skill check.
Yeah.
It's okay, well, I have to figure out how to be better with my guns or be better with my positioning.
And you know me, I'm very I tend to stick with the guns I know how they work well and the handling of them is best.
Yeah.
And that's what I went in there with. I didn't change much. I mean, I've upgraded all the stuff. So I didn't change much. I just changed sort of like checked up the style of play a little bit. Tried to play a little more keep away, which was the big part. I mean, there were times where I got close to dying. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, please, one more hit and I'm out. And I don't want to do that. Yeah. And just got, I think, lucky a couple times where I didn't die. And then once I sort of figured out, if I hang around the back, I can pick off these lesser dudes and then come in for the kill for the big guys later. Yeah. And that was kind of like the aha moment. And then from there, it was actually fairly easy.
Yeah, once you get past that level with the... you go through another thing, and it's like a saint.
You end up... once you get past that sort of circular room where stuff pops up on both sides and in the middle, and then you have like the, I don't know what they're called. They're like the like things that fly that spin and flare out and shoot at you.
The harpies.
Yeah, so those pop up several times, and then once you get past that, the floor opens up. Yes, and you drop through the floor, and then you come into like if I remember correctly, you come into a room that has people around the saint. Yes. But they don't do anything. And you shoot them from far away, they just sort of disappear. Right. Yeah. And then you go in there and then it's over.
Talkie.
Yeah. Yeah. So the hardest part was that room.
Yes.
And that was quite the challenge. I talk about this a lot. I am not a gamer. I've never been good at gaming, and especially shoot 'em games, right? Or first-person shooter games. I've never been good at them. Like, the aiming and the hitting stuff with my gun has always been a challenge. But the mechanics in this one they favor me. I feel like, to a certain... I'm not saying I'm good. I'm just saying, like, I have been able to figure out how to manage.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So, and I still, there's times where I get stuck. There is one quest that's timed. You get like 40 or 45 minutes, and there's 3 big blocks you got to get through. And you climb through like a vent, and you pop out and fucking die immediately. They just fucking see you and you get killed. It's all, I think, I want to say it's Vex or, and I got to the very last room, and it's like there's a big mechanical creature that you got to kill, and 2 of those circular balls that shoot the purple thing. You know, those balls that shoot purple, and they...
Oh, okay. The Cyclops?
There's 2 of those. Okay. There's 2 of those circle ball things with the purple shooter.
Shrieker?
I don't know. They're mechanical.
Oh, not mechanical.
They float and they like disappear and pop up over here.
Oh,
so there's some sort of critter on like a mechanical critter with a gun, and it's in a hangar, and he's down below, and there's 2 of those guys, and I ran out of heavy ammo, And so then it's just like attrition. Don't die, because that kills time.
Right.
And you only have so much time. And I finally killed the big guy, which was my biggest challenge, was killing him.
Mm-hmm.
And then those two fucking like blue silvery balls that shoot the purple were still down there, and they had tons of life, and it wasn't going down fast enough. And that was the closest I got to finishing that. And I'm like, see, this is the kind of thing I need Jason to help me with.
I wonder what that is.
I don't know what the name of it is, but man, you crawl through a hole in the wall and you pop out a vent on the other side. And as soon as you pop out, boom, I died fucking 30 times, like trying to figure out how to get, and then you just have to like start pinging stuff off. You're like popping out a vent, and it's like an outdoor sort of like circular thing, and they're all hanging out on the left.
It kind of looks like a tower.
Maybe.
Okay, I know what you're talking about then.
Man, that one.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating.
Welcome to Sad Dad's Destiny chat.
Yeah. So anyway, my point being that it's very fun. I've never considered myself a gamer, but I have enjoyed the shit out of it.
Good.
So fuck you.
And
my wife probably hates you for getting me into this game.
And that, kids, is why you'll be late for your podcast.
Yeah, it was a couple of minutes, but you know.
You're like, Shan, we can't go. I'm in the middle of a strike.
I mean, I try to play when the girls are
sleeping.
You know, when they because they typically go to bed a little earlier than me, because they get up earlier than I do.
Yeah.
So I'm free for like an hour and a half after they kind of go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And even sometimes a little earlier if they don't want to get into a show or something like that, and they're just like TikTok scrolling, I can probably get in on it a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Like 10:45 or 10:30 or something sometimes.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Remember last week you were like, "Hey man, do you have something to talk about?"
Oh, here, you got it?
And I was like, "No, man."
Oh, you got it this week though?
I have so much shit.
All right,
let me ask you that. Like, I'll try and be quick.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, right. Fucking the guy, he never shuts up.
That's the name of this show. I'll try and be quick.
You watch any anime? None.
No, it's a.
So I only really watched. It was not my bag until Xander was interested in it. And in like a. Hey, I want to be. I want to look
involved.
I want to see something that you're interested in. Now he used to be like a huge Pokemon guy.
Right.
He knew stats about Pokemon. Like when we were doing Ingress, like he was still young enough that like that was his thing. Man, like his like almost photographic memory about memorizing Pokemon and their like evolutions and like stats and shit. Like. Okay, like wow,
useless stats.
Yeah, like what? And then my wife, I'm sure she's like looking at him, and then she's looking at me, and she's like, "Yeah, but what's the distance between here and the fucking Sturgeon over on Garden Highway and the Lincoln for a field?" And I'd be like, "Well, that's going to take you at least 42.5 minutes.
Right.
You'd need 2 keys, and you'd want to throw back, but you'd have to watch out for nodding."
That's English talk for people that don't know.
Do you see what's going on?
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Oh, it makes sense." So he had my brother is heavy into it. Like was watching it and
Pokemon?
Anime.
Okay.
So some of the times when we would have family gatherings when Xander was 10, 11-ish, he would have like conversation stuff with his uncle about like anime stuff. Like, man, well, there's no I'm not opposed to it. I just haven't ever really watched it. I knew about like the Dragon Ball Z guy and like the Goku, but it was only from like a perspective of like memes.
Yeah.
Not like, I have no idea what the fuck this is. Xander told me to watch, I think I signed up for Crunchyroll, which is like an anime manga type of thing, like a Netflix for Japanese anime. So I signed up for that, and I'm like, one evening a couple of years back, I said, I'm going to put some stuff on my watch list. What should I watch? And he said, you need to watch Demon Slayer, and I think at the time there was some other one. And so I ended up catching up and watching Demon Slayer. Fantastic story, fantastic animation. Just blew me away. I'm like, fuck, I've been missing this stuff. And then he got into probably a year and a half ago. He was following only the animation of an anime series called Jujutsu Kaisen, and it was still new enough. And I was seeing people talk about it in Destiny, content creators who were doing stuff on Twitch and YouTube stuff. Their chat would, like, in dead air time in between matchmaking lulls and countdowns, like someone would spawn something and someone would say, did you catch the latest episode of Jujutsu Kaisen, JJK? And the content would be like, oh, that's fire. And so seeing some of that, but blind to whatever the fuck they were talking about,
right? I
asked Xander, I'm like, what is Jujutsu Kaisen? He's like, oh, JJK? Oh my God, it's like whatever. So I went, okay, so I put this on my watch list. He's like, oh yeah, absolutely. But you got to watch the movie on Netflix, and then you watch...
How would you know?
Right. I'm like, oh, okay, so why would I do this? Anyway, Jujutsu Kaisen, JJK, a fantastic story. And I have watched that... Oh, that's that guy. It was a guy. So he's safe. Wherever he lands, we don't care. That one, the storytelling is so great that I am actually they probably have 4 seasons at this point of animation to make, and they've only done 2. They're working on the 3rd. So what has been happening for the last year is just the manga. So just like comic book publication of the story.
Yeah.
And we are now at a point where I am so interested and invested in the story that I stay up late on Wednesdays to get the Japanese to English translation of the manga to then talk to Xander. I'm beating my own son at some of the story leaks about what's happening as far as the translation. And we have fucking like crazy creative, almost philosophical discussions about the storytelling aspects that's happening in this anime. It is so much more colorful in the storytelling than things like cartoons that I see here in like the West.
Yeah.
You and I have talked about it, I think, before when we talk about some like the character Thanos relative to Marvel.
Yeah.
Is a big. He's the big bad, but Loki is kind of like the same way. They do bad things, but the way that they're written, their perspective seems right to them.
Right.
And that makes it like a much more a character that has more depth than I just want to kill everything.
Well, that, and also they sort of struggle with their inner wants versus what they know is right and wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
So you don't really see typically that kind of depth of what would be a villain in most Western storytelling. It's like, this is the bad guy. That's it.
And he's bad.
And he is 100% bad.
Right.
There's no gray area. Guy is fucking bad, like straight out of the gate. Japanese anime and manga has the line is way blurrier to like you. I am not rooting for this person at all. Only to then see like 2 chapters, 3 chapters, 4 chapters later, you get a peek behind the curtains of either the motivations or the flaws that built that character,
that decision
to that way.
Yeah.
And I just watched on my own a series on Crunchyroll called Vinland Saga, and it's like Japanese, and I'm watching English subtitles.
Yeah.
So it's not an English dub. It's Japanese voiceover.
Yeah.
With English dubs. It is a Japanese anime told of Vikings. So like Leif Erikson, like Denmark, like Vikings conquering Britannia type of shit.
Wow.
So it is, as someone that Sweden, Iceland, Vikings, Greenland, that like, sword and board conquering kind of thing.
Yeah. Norway.
Well, yes. Yeah. All that stuff. God, 24 episodes. And the story, it's so, what do I say? Vibrant. Like, you're like, yeah, I want to not like you. And then by the end, you're like,
wait a sec.
Wow. Damn. Really?
Hmm.
And I just, so I ended up finishing the first season, and Xander had come out, and he's like, so where are you at? He hadn't watched it. He hasn't seen it. And I said, you should watch this. Like, I'll rewatch it with you if you want, but you should watch this. And he's like, what? I finished Vinland Saga Season 1. He's like, when?
God damn it, Dad.
Yeah, what the fuck? And I went, it's like on par with all these other stories as far as like the telling complexity. God damn.
I have no knowledge of them other than I know that a lot of it exists. Is he interested in like going to they just had the anime festival. Is he interested in that kind of stuff?
I put it on my calendar and I forgot to ask him if I don't know.
It was over the weekend. Was
it?
Yeah.
I thought I put it on my calendar and I meant to ask if he like would be interested in something like that.
Yeah.
I forgot. I should have asked him. Anyway, anime. Fucking fantastic little nugget that I've only found on like the last 2 years. I'm like, wow, man. Good story. Because we've talked at length, like, good stories. Mm-hmm. Some of like Netflix, the Daredevil series. Yeah. Fantastic stories.
Well, I was resistant even to the Star Wars animated series, and for the most part, they're all really good.
Rebels, Clone Wars storytelling, the Obi-Wan series, I liked. I don't really care if the internet didn't like it. The Ahsoka series, I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of all the movies. So all these little things are like good storytelling to me.
And so for me, it was sort of like, it's a cartoon. Like, what audience is this for? Like that's sort of the mindset. Mm-hmm. Is like if it's animated series like that, then it's got to be for kids or something. But no, it's not.
No, absolutely
really.
not. And certainly some of the anime. Well, I did try to watch. What did Xander try to get me to watch? One Piece, which is like the longest running anime or something. It's been. I tried
Since
to start.
The 50s?
Yeah. I mean, some of that animation at the front end. Wow. And I had to back out. I'm like, I don't know if I can watch like this tier of animation.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, okay. I could see how it's they made Netflix funded a live action make of it. That I find more entertaining than watching the circa 2000-2001 version of the animated. And I asked Andrew, I'm like, do they update the animation technology for this? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, just give me like the first. When does the first update happen? Because I think I need to start there.
Well, that was the thing, and I think that's the stigma for me. Is that old style animation's not really. It's super Japanese.
Yeah, I had a.
Yeah, and it's almost like it's a comic book frame on your screen.
Yeah.
It's off-putting.
Yes.
And I can see why you wouldn't, because it's off-putting for me.
Yeah.
I can see why you wouldn't want to watch it.
Yeah. I think we got 2-3 episodes in of One Piece.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, man, I'll just catch up on I'll watch the live action. I'm good with the live action.
Yeah.
Or get me the next update.
I mean, I will say even the Star Wars animated series improved over time. So, they, even amongst the same show over several seasons, the animation for that stuff got way better than it started out. Because I remember, like, watching the first season, like, ugh, this is not good looking.
Yeah.
But, I stuck with it, and it sort of rewards you with better animation as it progresses.
Yeah.
So, but I could see that with the Japanese anime stuff.
Yeah.
Being a little harder to watch from the older stuff.
Would it be...
and maybe that's why I was been turned off on it.
And I find to enjoy... because a lot of the most current stuff has English dubs to it. I prefer to watch it in Japanese with English subtitles.
I find subtitling to be very distracting.
Really?
From the visuals.
Oh, okay.
Because you spend your time reading the screen rather than watching the show. Like your attention is drawn away from what's happening in the animation, or even if it's a movie or something, like you're missing subtle things like a look, a glance, a blah blah, while you're reading the text or whatever.
I can see, yeah.
So that's a frustrating point for me when I come across subtitled stuff.
Yeah.
And I also have to be in the mood to be able to
spend an evening watching text while
reading a movie.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
So I struggle with it. And it's like...
But they talk Japanese to me.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Well, what
do you need from me?
One of the fascinating things to me is having been in Tokyo several times, riding the train and watching locals who are riding the train read their anime books on the train.
Oh, yeah.
And Japanese books are written from the back
to the
front.
Right.
And that just kind of blows my mind how they're organized that way or whatever. But that's wild to watch people do that in real time.
Yeah.
You're like, why are you reading it from the back? Well, you're not. It's actually the front.
That's actually the front.
It's very strange. But one of the things I do like is it's not necessarily related to anime, but like the comic books, not like the floppy page magazine style, but the actual books that have.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what you call those.
Like a collection of comics, or
there's like a bigger, like a book. That is colored pages with all the frames on it.
Oh my God, what do they call those?
I don't know, but that to me is interesting.
Graphic novel.
Yes, I do actually think those are really cool. I don't own any. I haven't read much of them. But if like we're in Target or somewhere and the girls are fucking around doing whatever, sometimes they'll just go to the book section and check out the graphic novels. And I'm like, oh, these are really cool,
Oh, she's not wearing any clothes. Well, I like that.
Yeah. I can't find that anywhere else.
Wow. Wait, what? It's just a stick figure on my notepad. Look at my movies.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
That's fun.
Yes. So, anime. That was a quickie. Not quickie, but quickie. I have a mattress update.
Oh.
A thing that you didn't know happened. Both of our snoring stopped.
With the new mattress?
With the new mattress.
Oh. Wild.
Yes. I think we
Did
got.
you get new pillows too, or just a new mattress?
I had the pillows that I thought were trying to resolve the uncomfortableness.
Yeah.
In like the month going into getting the new mattress, but I was still snoring, and so was Venus, and she didn't replace her pillows up until new mattress. I think over this weekend, I went, "Hey, you're not snoring as much."
Yeah.
And she went, "Yeah, you don't either." Like I'll have like a heavy snort breath level set.
Yeah.
But the mouth agape catching flies that both of us were night over night, like in
engaging in?
Yeah, engaging in has dropped off the map since the new mattress.
Oh, weird.
So
the sagging is contributing to some head placement, neck placement.
I would have to say that it played some component. Of all the things on the bed that has changed, it was the mattress. The blankets are the same. My pillows were the same going into the mattress. I still sleep the same. Body pillows are still the same. And her bed, her sleeping habits and like pillows and blankets needs are completely separate from mine. And both of us snore less. So
that's something.
For what it's worth, if you find yourself on a mattress that may be on its check your receipt end of life, or you haven't replaced it in quite a while, or you just flipped it 6 months ago and now you're snoring a lot more, check your mattress.
Yeah.
Your sleeping quality may be due to your mattress.
Yeah.
Your snoring is keeping you up late, whatever. Anyway, so there's that.
That's good to know.
Do you have something before I go into my next one?
No, go ahead.
Okay. This is funny, huh? What do you think about Taylor Swift? Music aside, you have any perspective on her as a person?
There's times where I'm like, she's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
And then my daughter rolls in, and she can't stand Taylor Swift.
Really?
And she's angry about Taylor Swift being ultra competitive in the music market and dropping things and trying to compete with other artists and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
She gets mad about that stuff, so I hear it, and then I'm like, oh, that's fucked up. And I don't know if that's necessarily even true, but she's saying it.
Okay.
And I'm not researching it, so I don't know offhand if it's real or not. So my opinion sort of wavers on the moment because sometimes I'm like, she's like the all-American lady, like doing well for herself, and that's great. And
then you hear something.
Then I hear something a little fishy, and I'm like, that's kind of fucked up. Like, I really hope that's not the case.
Right.
And if it is, that's shitty.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what to think necessarily.
That's fair. Okay, so I tend to be a fan. I think she has a really good business acumen. I think she surrounds herself with some some pretty smart people that are keeping her out of business mistakes.
And she's not doing heroin.
Right. Her music, to me, hits and misses. But in the house, obviously, Piper and Venus went overseas to catch a concert.
Sure.
They have caught... the ladies in the house are big fans. I will have to check on what business methods she's using and whether or not they're shady. I know there was a thing with dancers and Katy Perry, but I don't know anything about music drops to squeeze out people.
I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, it's not that I give enough rips about her to be like, well, I'm going to stop buying her records because I don't buy her records.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, she's not my musical taste.
Well, Piper and I have had pretty, like her last album, Piper and I had like a good discussion.
The Dead Poet Society?
Yes. I mean, I may call it that on a number of occasions, and I get laughed at or eye rolled. What'd you think? Like, what the thing? Like, almost philosophical because of the almost like the relationship trauma that she's talking about in the last one. I'm like, the music,
it doesn't meet your
right. And we've talked about this.
Yeah.
Like, the music aesthetically was different for me, and what just wasn't necessarily my bag. But anyway, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, we're at the end of my day, and Piper's like, I need to get out of the house, school, something. I'm like, well, I'm going to go on the walk. You want to come with me on my walk? She's like, sure. I'm like, well, I'm going to the store, so, just so you're aware of the length here. I'm going to the store, and then I'm coming back. She's like, okay, fine. So we're on our way out. We get to the... It wasn't so hot, so Piper had a sweatshirt on top, but shorts on the bottom.
Psycho.
Too hot for me.
Way psycho.
But she was doing it. I'm like, it's going to be hot. It's 6 o'clock. It's still sunny outside. So we get to the Mahaney Light, and there is a young lady, maybe 12, certainly tween, with her high school aged, maybe just outside of high school. I'm going to say brother for sure. So brother, sister is tween. Brother is can't drive because he maybe wasn't in a car, but 17 at the minimum. They're coming from Mahaney itself, and we're coming from the other way. So we're meeting at a T at the light to cross, and we're standing at the light together, and we're hitting the boop, 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 the crosswalk thing. And the girl, she's just kind of like holding on to the light pole, and then she turns around, and she looks at Piper, and she says, are you a Taylor Swift fan? Because Piper's hoodie or sweatshirt was the Eras Tour Taylor Swift thing. And Piper said, yes, I'm a big fan. And the young lady said, have you been to any of her concerts? And Piper, of course, is wearing a hoodie for the European tour. And she's like, yeah, I went to the one in over in Europe. And the girl went, oh, I haven't been to any concerts. And I'm like, I look at Piper, I'm like, oh, goddamn, you just shit on this girl's poor oatmeal.
Yeah.
So then there's like a little awkward thing, and then you could tell that the little girl isn't now infatuated with Piper.
All right.
She's like, she's got a bestie.
You're my hero.
And then she says, I can't remember the young female artist, she said if Piper liked her or heard her new album, and Piper said no. Had she heard Sabrina Carpenter's new album? And then the little girl said, I haven't heard that. No. And Piper said, you should listen to it. It's a really good album, And the girl's like, oh, okay. So then she kind of gets like bashful, and she spins back around the pole, and she like taps her brother, who's not paying attention, and I can feel, right? Because it's like, damn it. Little sister's talking fucking Taylor Swift to a bunch of fucking strangers. So you can see the older brother embarrassment vibe. So he's not looking at me. And I know enough about Taylor Swift that I'm kind of like halfway giggling at Piper that she's found a Taylor Swift buddy. But also, like, I know what they're talking about because
right.
I know. She nudges her brother to get a phone, and then boop, boop, the crosswalk sign lights up, and as we crossing the crosswalk, the little girl on her phone cues up a Taylor Swift song that I happen to know the lyrics to, and so now she's like playing this song on her phone so that everyone can hear it to show that she's a Taylor Swift fan.
Right.
As we cross, and the brother is just like, no, oh my God, turn it down.
Right.
As we get across, and then we get across the crosswalk, and then she like pauses it, and she goes, that's one of my favorites, and I go, cool. So I'm audibly singing the next set of lyrics. I'm like, it's okay. I'm a fan. It's cool. And then Piper's like singing like the little bit end of it. And as we're walking up towards the Starbucks on the sidewalk, she goes to like cue up another song, and she's like, I hope you don't mind me playing more stuff. And the brother finally says, he goes, well, it's not like you're not playing it 24 hours a day. and I'm like, I can feel my homie. I can feel it. And I go, it's the same thing in my house, dude. Same thing in my house.
Yeah.
Like, it's like nonstop. And he goes, God. I went, I feel you. So they're like ahead of us, and we're walking across the parking lot looking for carts. You should return the cart. And she then cues up another song as we're kind of like walking away from each other.
Yeah.
But it turns out they're also going to Rayleigh's. And she's got another song queued up, and her brother is like, turn it down. But everyone in the parking lot can hear her playing another song. It was very cute. So then we get into the store, but Piper and I had returned enough carts that we didn't cross the door at the same time.
Yeah.
Piper got a Arizona tea. I got a liquid death thing. And we're at the self-checkout. They check out maybe a minute and change ahead of us. We walk out the door. I'm like, well, where'd they go? Did they go to the apartments like down the way? And Piper's like, no, they're already at the Starbucks. So they've crossed the parking lot again. I'm like, well, cut homeboy a break and we'll just like slow roll this. Well, the way that the light sequencing worked,
You caught up.
we caught back up to them at the stoplight, and she had given up her phone at this point, but then she turns around and she's like, oh, we got the same. She had gotten the same Arizona tea. So then she's having this another little squee moment with her new Taylor Swift bestie about having the same Arizona tea. So then she's like halfway through the crosswalk, she's slapping her brother to get her phone back so that she can queue up another Taylor Swift song. We get through the crosswalk.
You should have just busted one out on yours.
Next time. Next time I should.
Hold on, I got you.
Yeah, hold on. I got it. I got you. So we're at that second small turn crosswalk.
Yeah.
And I look at Piper and I go, just turn right. Just turn right. So that way I'm looking out for my boy who was probably
Irritated as
super
shit.
embarrassed about his little sister playing Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I'm like, we'll just go right so that way. Because she hadn't queued up a song yet. I'm like, we'll let them have space so she won't embarrass the brother.
Yeah.
And Pepper's like, okay. So we walked all the way to the Mahaney sign.
Yeah.
And then we had a little ha-ha moment about her being a Taylor Swift bestie to a complete stranger. And then we walked back, and they had already hit like Meg Aquatics by the time we were even halfway there.
That's funny.
But it was super funny because then we were making jokes about how she's like, have you ever been to a concert? And Piper's like, I went to the one in Europe.
Yeah.
And she's like, I haven't been to one ever. I'm like, fucking get shit on, little kid.
So Saturday we were going to go to, there's a place in Westside called Whitey's.
Oh, my. Oh, wait.
And they do like these fresh peach shakes or whatever.
Okay.
We went there and they were closed.
Oh, no.
On Saturday.
Forever or on Saturday?
No, just for the holiday. They you would think they'd want to be open on the holiday, but they were closed. So we ended up going to pizza downtown, and I can't think of the name of the place.
Yeah.
But they're right next to, they're across the street from, I can't remember. They're across the street from a big venue that has shows and stuff. That's where I went and saw All the Way Rider play. And so anyway, they were having...
Crest?
No, it's...
What's that downtown?
It's... God damn it. My brain is failing me. Uncle Vito's Pizza was the name of the pizza place. Hang on, I'll look it up.
San Juan Pobrecito.
I'll look it up.
Yes.
It'll be on the... Ace of Spades.
Oh, okay.
So Uncle Vito's is right across the street from Ace of Spades.
Okay.
So we go to Uncle Vito's, and it's fucking... That whole area is packed with people, right? We're lucky we got a parking spot.
All right.
And we're like, what's going on at Ace of Spades? And there's a line. So the way Ace of Spades line works is they have across the street from Ace of Spades is where the line starts, and that's where they do their ID check.
Oh.
The line goes down to the corner and around the corner and disappears behind a building like
Oh shit.
2/3 of a block through the through the block.
Okay.
So it's just this huge line, and we're sitting outside. We have the dog with us, and we're like, "What is going on at Ace of Spades tonight? Damn, there's a lot of folks here."
Mm-hmm.
It was a Taylor Swift like listening party thing.
Oh.
So are they just? It's like a dance thing.
Okay.
Where they just play Taylor Swift music and people dance.
Yeah.
And people are all dressed up in their Taylor Swift clothes and all this. And it was like, holy shit, man! This is like, it's like. She's nowhere near Sacramento.
Oh, yeah.
But yet people are paying money to buy tickets to go to a Taylor Swift dance party.
Wow. At Ace of Spades?
At Ace of Spades. Yeah. Crazy.
I wonder what that was.
And there was that many people there. And the line, I sat out there with the dog. The girls went in and ordered. The line was like that when we sat down.
Yeah.
We ate our food, and when we left, the line was still like that.
She is a marketing juggernaut. Like,
yeah.
I'm trying to think of a musician that generates that kind, like Michael Jackson, Prince, Madonna.
Yeah.
Like the 80s and 90s tier, like,
yeah.
Like, I mean,
I wouldn't put Pink in the same category for sure. She's smaller.
Sure.
But Janet Jackson.
Yes.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah, like everything that person touches seems to just
work.
Right.
Somehow.
Sure. And then like you have these things now, like third party prop ups.
Yeah.
Like, is she actually engaged in this at all? No. But someone's like, you make a party and you tell people they can dress up.
Yeah.
And we'll just play Taylor Swift stuff and Taylor Swift mixes, and it's Taylor Swift themes, and we'll sell tickets.
And people fucking pay for the tickets and go.
Oh, yeah.
It was bonkers.
Yeah, I believe it.
Plus, they had the Sac Anime Festival going on, so there's like some anime folks running around.
Oh, that would be cool.
Crazy. It was and that's far away from the.
I bet the Argonaut may have gone to that. I should have asked. I should have said, fuck.
Back to the anime thing. It's just not, it hasn't like I'm not accustomed to it.
Yeah.
Really. So like the festival just doesn't.
Yeah.
It's apparently the Sacramento one is the second biggest anime festival on the West Coast.
Yeah.
I think San Diego being the number one because that's the biggest. But it's just not my.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if there would be enough stuff there for me to have fucks to give. Like I don't necessarily I respect but don't really have an understanding of voice actors. So a lot of those too are like, there's your guest speaker or signed up to sign autographs. It's like, well, fucking I've never even been to a con where Peter Cullen has been. And if I'm going to get somebody to sign something of mine that does cartoons, it's Peter Cullen. And I'm going to ask him to sign my fucking Optimus Prime toy or something. Because of all voice actors that I have the most reverence for, it's Peter Cullen who does Optimus fucking Prime.
Right.
And Eeyore. So that's not an interest to me. I don't necessarily have an interest to dress up, like cosplay for anime.
But you have costumes that you could totally do.
And Xander, I'm helping Xander. This year's Halloween, Xander is going as a JJK, one of the main characters from JJK, Yuji Itadori. That's his costume. I'm helping him put together that costume. I kicked around as a backup one of the other characters in that story, but I can't sell it to my wife because obviously no one in anime has fucking goatees and beards, so it would mean ditching the beard. But I kicked it around like, Xander, well, would you if I went as fucking this guy? And he's like, that'd be cool. All right, yeah, that'd be cool.
He's really getting excited.
He's like, yeah, whatever. We're not. But personally, I don't think there would be enough. Now, if there were, I know there's art, like some of the art from the animation itself, like posters or like displays, that like new thing where they're putting stuff on like metal, like an aluminum sheet, etched aluminum, like epoxy. I may be interested in like some stills, certainly probably some animation stills over like Disney cell stills. I have I think I have one or two Destiny ones. I have one of the Traveler, like above Earth when it left Earth, and it's like a atmospheric picture with the Traveler. I think my wife asked me to buy the Cade and Crow shooting each other one when it's from the cinematic when they're jumping into the Traveler.
Okay.
Because it's got Cade in it, and Venus is a huge Cade fan.
Yeah.
I don't think I've bought that one yet, but I probably... Hashtag not a Christmas present. Fuck. Shit. But I may be interested in I'm sure that stuff's probably there, and Argonaut may be able to tell me. There's that whole other part of the, like, adult, like the fucking waifu shit and the body pillows and the big busty...
Yeah.
Not my bag. Like, I got a wife, man.
The semi-porn.
If I want to play with, the hentai shit.
Yeah.
If I want to play with fun bags, I'm married. Hashtag
Right.
sorry, kids.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't need a body pillow with.
Yeah. Plus, you're an OnlyFans member anyway.
Right, 95% naked, anime chick. Like, I'm good. I turn to see the ring means I have access to existing live action boobs.
Yeah.
Hashtag sorry, kids again.
That's funny.
Anyway, yeah.
We did go to on Monday. We went to the wedding venue.
Oh yes. Yes, holiday.
Yeah. So several of us, Shan and I, and Melanie and Chandler and Nicole, and her good friend and the photographer, who was also Melanie's soccer coach back in the day.
Oh, nice.
So we all met up there and then had questions for the lady that owns. Man, it's beautiful. You'll see when you get there. That property is gorgeous. She's done such a nice job on it.
Yeah.
So we were up there and then went and had like brunch somewhere on the way home, and that was cool.
Was it? Did you go in the morning or evening?
It was in the morning. I think we were meeting up there at like 9:30 or something like that.
I have like Camino in my like weather checks. It starts to cool down Sunday, I think.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it stays that way.
Yeah.
For the duration.
It was nice in the shade.
Yeah.
But it started getting warm in the sun.
Yeah.
But by 3:00, I think, because I think by then the sunset is like dipping into the low 7 time frame.
Mm-hmm.
So 3:00 is closer to sunset than earlier in the day. So there's going to be quite a bit of shade.
Cool.
So it should be cool if it's in the shade at all. If it happens to be a warm day,
yeah,
the shade will help us.
Did you get a suit? Or do you have a suit?
Getting one.
Are you?
Yeah, we're working on
black on black on black?
It'll be black jacket with a green shirt. And
you're allowed to do that?
Because I'm a family member.
Oh, shit, dude. Is it green for your side and a color for the other side?
No, these are their colors they chose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but everybody else is supposed to wear black.
So immediate family gets the highlight
gets
and color?
The color, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And then everyone else wears black. So
that's cool.
Yeah. The place is gorgeous. You'll see when you get there. It's kind of exciting. It's hard to believe it's in a couple of weeks. Again, we talked about this last week. It's bonkers. Oh, and then they had the wedding shower.
I saw pictures. Your wife's Instagram had stuff. Where was it? I didn't recognize.
It was at Nicole's parents' house.
Was it?
Yeah. So
they
had
a lot of cool looking food and. stuff.
Yeah, one of the family friends, her name's Kirsten. It's family friends of Nicole's family.
Yeah.
A very close family friend. She is really, man, she's really handy. So, like, if you saw a picture of the balloon thing, she made that shit.
I didn't see
there at the house.
Really?
Yeah, like on, I think she did it the day before. And she made like cake pops and like she's one of those people that can pull all that stuff off.
Wow.
Really impressive. But you know, Shan went, we brought a bunch of, well, I didn't go, but we went and bought a bunch of like champagne and juices and some food trays and stuff like that. But I guess it went well. So yeah, they had a good time. I wasn't there because
because
bridal shower.
Bridal shower.
Yeah.
No sausage allowed.
Yeah, and then Chandler had his
Bachelor party.
bachelor weekend. Yeah. Where
What did he do?
him and all the dudes went up to one of Nicole's best friends' parents own a cabin up in Truckee.
Okay.
And so they used the cabin, and then they went and they went to Reno for dinner the first night, and they went and did a rafting down the Truckee River.
Oh, nice.
Which is really cool.
Nice.
And stuff like that, I guess.
That's cool.
Yeah. Beyond that, I'm not really sure. I didn't go.
Was it Saturday and Sunday, and then he turned to burn for Monday with venue?
He came home. They went Friday and Saturday and came home Sunday.
Okay.
And then we went to
Thing on Monday.
Yeah, Apple Hill on Monday morning.
Goddamn.
So busy things happening with the wedding. Tickety tock. I know, it's because like I keep forgetting. Like I know that you're the efficient.
Yeah.
Efficient. But it's kind of nutty because like I don't, in my mind, like I know you're doing it, but like, oh shit, Jason's gonna be there too.
Yes.
This is really cool. And
I
assume,
have A+1.
Yeah, and I assume Venus is going to be there as well.
Yes.
But I'm like, oh shit, like that's right. That's really, I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Little speech, little words.
Yeah. Slurred. No.
You know. You guys didn't even understand. Poop.
Yeah, so we'll have the rehearsal Friday. And then we're just going to do pizza for the rehearsal dinner.
The night before?
Yeah,
Okay.
there at the venue.
Okay.
We'll bring it there and just kind of hang out.
Okay.
And then the wedding, like I don't really know how it's all going to work as far as setup, but like we're in charge of all the setup. Like the venue doesn't do any of it.
Oh,
so we
okay.
got to move the tables and move the chairs and all that kind of stuff. Have the ceremony.
How many
ditch
people?
the chairs. Like 120 or something.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's a lot of chairs.
Yeah. And then, so I don't fully know how it's all going to go down, but I assume that's what the rehearsal's for.
Right.
You know?
Because both of us haven't been in a married of like that size.
Our wedding was,
Jesus, I don't think my wedding had that many people.
I think ours was a little bit smaller than that. Maybe somewhere around 100. I don't know. I'd have to ask Shanna if she would remember. She would remember more than I would.
Yeah,
we had ours was at that church. We got married at that church on Sunrise that has the big stained glass up the front, right there by the old hospital.
Yes.
That whatever that church is called now. That's where we got married.
Yeah.
And then our reception was at Maidu.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Not Venus. My sister and Ian's first marriage was at Maidu.
They got married there?
Yeah.
And had the reception?
And the reception.
Okay. That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've given a speech as a best man at Maidu for my sister and Ian's wedding.
All right.
We've been in the same places for some wedding things.
Yeah.
Without B-notes to each other.
Well, I mean, I was married 30 and a half years ago.
Right.
That's how old I am. We had our 30th anniversary in April, so That's bonkers.
30.
Bonkers.
Good God, man.
I know.
We're at time. We didn't even get to Amazon Fresh.
Oh, shit. I still haven't been there yet.
We'll get that one next week. It'll be good.
I've heard good and I've heard bad, so I don't know.
I thought it was cool. It was. I do one. Well, fuck. We'll get there next week.
Well, all right, next week we'll talk about.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully I'll have been there by next week's show.
Just make sure you get the cart with the tablet if you want to try the self-checkout shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works, but I'll give it a whirl.
Right. And if you're like me, you just, I have the wrong cart, then just somewhere you just kind of chuck the other one and go get someone. Get another one. Anyway, you definitely want to be returning those carts.
Yeah, for sure.
Because fucking there's a
tab on them.
Yeah. You should return the cart.
You should wash your ass.
Wash your hands.
Check your oil, Tony.
Stay up to date on your shots.
Make the call if you need to.
Register to vote.
Pick up a broom.
Do the kindness. We'll catch you next week.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye.